like to welcome everyone and call this meeting to order. And if you're able, would you please stand and say the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our next item of business is the review and approval of the agenda.
Madam President, I would recommend making an amendment to include items J and K. Items J is a consideration of a new position, lawn care maintenance position. And then K is the consideration of an out-of-state field trip for our girls basketball game on Friday. So just didn't make last month's agenda.
Okay. You've all heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a recommendation? Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Reese.
I second.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second. I second.
Thank you, Mrs. Anthony. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the consent agenda. Review and approval of accounts payable voucher listings. Review and approval of the minutes of the regular session on May 18th, 2026. Review and approval of the minutes of the executive session on May 18th, 2026. And review and approval of the minutes of the executive session on June 11th, 2026. Are there any questions? If not, I'll assume there's consensus and we'll move on. We have no recognitions tonight. Comments from patrons?
I do want to point out, we do have representatives from Chartwell's here tonight, so I didn't know.
We usually wait, so.
We appreciate you coming. All right, I guess next we'll move on to reports on schools.
All right, smaller report right now for us, but we have a lot of things in preparation. I wanted to share out mini audit of May bank statements that we completed. Our summer school session, which concludes this Thursday. We have 36 students enrolled in summer school session. When you think of that, it's not only students recovering credits to stay on track with their cohort, but it's also students looking to take classes to get ahead or maybe to open up their schedule. So we have some students doing that as well. Graduation, which was fantastic. We had 67 graduates graduate. That's 100% of our enrolled seniors. So everyone enrolled, graduated, and 11 members of that class of 2026 are in the Indiana College Corps, which essentially they've earned those college credits for their freshman year already going into school. So that's 16% of our graduating class, and being able to offer that here in-house, meaning having teachers that are certified, qualified to teach those college credits and courses is impressive, and even more impressive the students that are able to obtain that. So that's a big savings to them, their family, and a nice head start to get ready for college. Some of the things behind the scene we're working on this time of year, we're putting schedules together and building programs. Also, we had 3 vacancies with band and music and math, Mr. Ravenscroft, and then Mr. Encia has taken a full scholarship to pursue his doctorate degree in mathematics at University of Louisville. So with that being said, you'll see the picture there. We interviewed our first round, then we bring our candidates back. They teach a lesson with the math department in this case, and we had students come in. I appreciate those students who came in. Some will have those teachers when we select the candidates for those positions. So getting their feedback was important. So we appreciate them giving up a little bit of their summer. We did share some Starbucks with them and appreciate their time. So I appreciate those students who joined us for those interviews and those lessons. The extracurricular athletic review, you'll see Mr. Fulton attached. I'm not going to go through all the pages here, but just to give you some ideas, we wanted to build a scope of the student athlete and also why that position. It's a tremendous amount of leadership and supervision and accountability. We had over 14,000 total spectators in attendance through all 3 seasons, 554 sporting contests, 250 which were home, 304 which were away. With those come contracts and travel, transportation, coaches, a lot of moving pieces with that. A shout out to our team GPA leaders, which we have posted. Girls golf was our fall leaders. Girls basketball was the winter leaders with 3.48. Girls golf had a 3.46. And our track and field teams, girls and boys, had a 3.34 for the spring. They had the highest GPAs out of all of our athletic teams. So they did a nice job and represented well there. So that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gondel. And Mr. Reese is on vacation. So I was going to give the update. The biggest update is we had 100% pass for our iRead 3. Pretty awesome. So we had 10 students that had to retest. 6 were successful in May and 4 were successful the other day. I haven't seen them coming out and they were very, very excited. So that's great news. All our teachers are returning for a 2nd straight year. I think that says a lot. Just the continuity, even though we've had a few leave the high school, junior, senior high school, again, there's a lot of continuity here with our faculty. So I think that's impressive. We did have one instructional assistant that is resigning tonight, Ms. Hellis, so we will be filling that for the elementary. I'm going to talk on the agenda about the elementary policy around cell phones. That's the other big part. The biggest part of the cell phone policy, I think both at the junior, senior high and the elementary, is the General Assembly included smartwatches. And so again, just restricting when, smartwatches cannot be used to communicate with people, and that is considered a personal communication device. So
they can wear them.
They can wear them as long as they're not connecting. Yes. And you should see the picture of the new classroom. This is the new furniture in the 2nd grade classroom at the elementary. Yeah. And that's what I have for the elementary.
Okay. All right, next items for school board discussion and possible action regarding personnel.
Yeah, so Madam President, you'll see a slate of, again, hiring recommendations, resignations. Again, there's several on the summer school slate for recommendation. These are existing staff members that we're recommending, so we just have to approve those for State Board of Accounts. Mr. Gondel spoke about our new hires at the high school for the band, Algebra 1 and mathematics. The resignations to include Mr. Nasia, Mrs. Roach, who is also doing some consulting and finishing that up over the last year, Mrs. Parlow at the junior, senior high school, and then Mrs. Hellis are the recommended resignations. I also have, not in the slate, 2 that I wanted to elevate separately. One is Hagen Tomlinson. Hagen will be filling in for lawn care and be mowing our yards. I would ask that retroactively we hire him because we brought him on for training Friday from last Friday. So, and Hagen's been at it, but he is an employee, coaches for us as well, so he's not totally new and obviously has his background check, etc. And then also Mr. Bruce Waters, I'm making a recommendation to fill in as the director of maintenance. The one stipulation right now is interim, and as Bruce and I just talked about this position, he's still the head custodian at the junior, senior high school. We just want to see how this goes for the next month or 3, or when, month by month, and just kind of talk about how it's going. Is it something that he can do long-term? I know he can do it long-term, but can he do it at the same time with that position as the custodian? Do we need to move and make a recommendation to backfill? Again, those are things that I think we don't know yet, but everybody I've spoken to across this corporation has nothing but great things to say about Mr. Waters or our community. He's a problem solver. That's one of the things Mr. Gondel and our staff knows that I am looking for, are problem solvers, people who take initiative, people who can work with other people and collaborate, and he fits all those things. And he's a leader and problem solver. So I make that recommendation for Mr. Waters.
Can we take all those together?
I think so.
Are there any questions? You've all heard the superintendent's recommendation for the personnel slate. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Evans?
I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, ma'am, I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Halbert. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by,
I have to stay. Jason's on here for varsity softball coach.
even though he's resigning.
No, he's
just getting hired for.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was the assistant. He's going to be moved
Okay.
up to.
all right. I'm sorry. Okay.
I should have pointed
Could
that
we
out.
get a roll call vote, please?
Diane Evans,
Yes.
Vicky Reese,
Abstain.
Ron Howard Jr.,
Yes.
Cassie Anthony,
Yes.
Kip Flynn.
Yes. All right, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations. Hope it's not too, hope it works out well for you.
Yeah. Am I able to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
You two would
I
love to
just
hear
want
it.
to, excuse me.
You two would love to hear it.
I just want to say I appreciate the board. I appreciate Mr. Callahan. I appreciate the opportunity. I will do my absolute best to be successful at it. And I thank you for this great opportunity. And hopefully it will work out and I'll have enough hours in the day that I can do it all.
Thank you for stepping up for it.
Yeah,
we appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, are we ready for the next item? There are no fundraisers and there were no donations,
That's
is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Next is the consideration of the food service management contract.
And Madam President, I make the recommendation to approve the contract with Chartwells or Compass USA, which is the parent company of Chartwells, to be our food service manager for the 26-27 year. Before, I would just like to say that we had a very competitive bid process. 5 companies had responded to our RFP, very comprehensive proposals, competitive proposals. I just think Chartwell separates themselves as, again, the market leader in that space. Also, as we think about not only just taking care of our people and the quality of food, I think also looking at like the farm to school and the things that we're trying to do out at the Outdoor Learning Lab, already there in Delaware County at Cowan and Muncie. And again, they have kind of that market lead throughout the state of Indiana. So again, and just they were one of 2 of the companies that came for the bid opening. And I just really appreciate their customer service and their attention to detail throughout that process.
Are there any other questions? You've all heard the superintendent's recommendation to accept Chartwells as the food service management contract. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Yes,
I so move.
Yes, Mrs. Evans. Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Anthony. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, now we are down to consideration of the Daleville Elementary School handbook, student handbook.
Yeah, Madam President, I make a recommendation to approve the Daleville Elementary School Student Handbook. Most of it is just changes from 25-26 to 26-27. The exception is, again, the cell phones. Again, there's a sequencing of due process when it comes to punishments. One of the things that we had to decide from a policy standpoint as we approve the second reading of policies is we really want to make sure that when phones are ever taken from students, that our administration has those, that they're not necessarily direct or they don't stay in the hands of teachers. So administration would hold those for parents. And then again, the cell phone or smartphones are considered cell phones when they're being attached to a cell phone.
Did anybody have any questions about the handbook? All right, you've all heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President, I so move.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Reese. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the consideration of the Daleville Junior Senior High School Handbook.
Madam President, I would make a motion to approve the Daleville Junior Senior High Handbook. And I don't know if Mr. Gondel, if you have anything you'd like to say about it.
A lot of the changes are dates, just and to make sure the schedules and dates coincide with the what's happening there. And same with the athletic handbook that will come up shortly. But with the student handbook, it's pretty straightforward in that regard. We just cleaned up some language. Mr. Bendis and I went through each section together just to make sure it was clear and concise. And I represented all the programs that we have in place.
Are there any other questions?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Are there any changes made to the dress code policy?
No,
Okay.
there's a continuum with the dress code. First infraction where we'll contact home and work down through. But there is a progression with that. We try to engage the parents and the
I
students.
don't believe it's enforced by any teachers in the building, so I was just wondering if we were going to continue to have one on paper. So, okay.
We do, and we also have clothing on site if someone had to wear a shirt or so forth. So, yep.
Are there any other questions? You've all heard the superintendent's recommendation to accept the Daleville Junior Senior High School Handbook. Do I hear a motion? Yes, Mrs. Reese.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Madam President, I second it.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item of business is the consideration of the Daleville Athletic Student Handbook.
Madam President, I would make the recommendation to approve the athletic handbook as presented. As Mr. Gondel said, a lot of it is just moving from the past year to this year. One thing that I would like to point out, though, and changed was not all our sports in the past have had guidelines around letters for managers. And so we wanted to streamline that. Several of the athletic teams have only 2 managers can get a letter, and the rationale behind that is we had one sport where there were like 5 or so, and so there wasn't just accountability around what they were actually expected to do, and so we limited that to 2 per sport. And so in a cross country sport where you have boys and girls, that's actually 4. So that was a change.
So are you limiting the number of
The
managers
number,
or just the?
have an assistant manager that
Awards?
just the awards.
Okay,
So I guess you could have might just
one hang out.
want to hang out with the team, or
Most of them want to do it for the.
whether they were doing it for a letter.
Yeah.
I think it's about fidelity of quality of the experience, and just if you have more than a couple,
Many.
yeah.
Are there any other questions? Well, for the superintendent's recommendation to accept the Daleville Athletic Student Handbook, do I hear a motion?
Madam President?
Yes, Mrs. Anthony?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, ma'am, I will second.
Thank you, Mr. Halbert. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next item of business is the consideration of policies, the second reading.
Yeah, and I gave you a copy, a printed copy. There's a lot of paper. There's a lot to try to scan.
A lot of lines.
A lot of lines. And so, Madam President, I make a recommendation to adopt. These are board policies 0100, 1623, 4123, 5136, 5136 -01, and 8510. I don't think they're all there. You can access all of them. The ones I wanted to kind of highlight tonight, I can tell you 0100 is just cleanup of definitions. So it's, again, thinking about personal communication device, not just being a cell phone, but being a smartwatch. There's multiple cleanups. Take a step back, especially for those in the audience. Schools, most schools work with Neola. Neola provides basically an ongoing policy review based on federal and state statute. And so they look at that, and then they will meet with me and just kind of clean up basically what does federal and state statute. And so that's where you get some of the definitions in 0100. 1623 and 4123 had some discrimination updates that had to be made because of new federal policy. So it's like, this is just things that the feds have changed their rules on, and we have to follow the federal laws. So it's nothing even debatable. I mean, you have to follow federal law. 5136 is specific at that personal communication device, like definition and walking through that. 5136 gives you opportunities to say, as a district, and this is back, Mrs. Reese, you would ask the question, our board policy, or the board policy in front of you, is saying that, so my Garmin is a smartwatch. I can't talk on my Garmin. I can't communicate through my Garmin. And so if I had a smartwatch that I could, that could be determined as a personal communication device and could be seen as a cell phone and not allowed in school. And so, but the board policy is like, if it is connecting or if they're using it, right? Now, at a building level, I told the principals at the building level, they can adopt a more stringent. We adopted a less stringent. And just the reason is it gives them a little bit more flexibility. It's just important that they determine that flexibility in their handbook and be able to share that with parents, et cetera.
Well, like mine's always connected.
Yeah.
In your phone,
Yeah, I have cellular service on mine, so even if my phone isn't working, it works.
it's always
Yeah.
connected. So I get texts just automatically.
Yeah.
Notifications. So I'm not sure how you're gonna.
Can you answer calls on yours?
I think,
Call that,
Mr. Gondel, if you want to say anything about it, but
Consistently, we've asked and directed students that the phones and smartwatches are placed in their locker through the course of the instructional day. That's especially as students get older, take dual credit and the testing. In any of those environments, you're not even able to wear a smartwatch to take a test, or if you get into the PSAT, SAT, the state I-Learn, or even dual credit testing per the university, their rules as well. So we direct the students' phones and smartwatches placed up. In instances where there's a medical component to it, obviously, we have that well documented and shared with the teachers, where we have some that measure blood sugar and different checks like that. There are exceptions to that, but that seems to work well for us. We look forward to continuing with that.
The last policy is the wellness policy, and the wellness policy, the biggest part of that is we need to, and again, maybe we can work with our new food service management company to help us with our wellness policy, but just like with the strategic planning, bringing people together to talk about wellness and making sure we have a plan district-wide around wellness.
Are there any questions? Okay, then, so since this is the second reading, okay, all right, you all heard the superintendent's recommendation to approve the second reading of these policies. Do I hear a motion? Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Is there a second?
Yes, ma'am, I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Halbert. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, our next item of business is the consideration of the withdrawal from the Delaware Blackford County Special Ed Co-op.
So, Madam President, I make a recommendation to adopt this resolution. I want to speak to the resolution for a minute. So 2 months ago, found out that Westdale was withdrawing from the Delaware Blackford County Special Ed Cooperative. After that, several others decided they were going to withdraw. The notice to withdrawal, or the action you take tonight, does not withdraw us until July 1, 2027. The other districts outside of Muncie Community Schools, who is the local education agency, the LEA, who manages the staff and everything, everyone else is taking action to withdraw with the intent to renegotiate and decide how we're going to do these services. As I've shared with several of you, there are services such as having a director, such as day programming, that we cannot do on our own. So whether this is going back to Muncie Community Schools in the next 365 days or working out an interlocal with these other county districts, this is the first step in that work. So the work tonight is not that Daleville is going to be independent of other school systems in serving, especially those two needs.
So things will stay the same this year.
Yes. And I would also
Year to figure out.
Yeah.
I would also say I've communicated with the superintendent of Muncie Community and shared that all in all, I think both our principals have been pleased with services. I just feel like at this point in time that the other districts have signaled this. We follow suit, and then we all renegotiate what next steps after July or June 30th, 27 looks like.
Any other questions? All right, you go hear the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President, I so move.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Anthony. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. Could we get a roll call vote, please?
Diane Evans?
Yes.
Vicky Reese?
Yes.
Ron Hubbard Jr.?
Yes.
Cassie Anthony?
Yes.
Kip Quinn?
Yes. All right. Resolution has been moved and seconded. Oh, it's passed. Okay, moving on. This is a hard job. All right, the next item is the consideration of lawn care maintenance.
And I make the recommendation to adopt this position. I would mention, I did reach out to the other area districts. This still puts us at least in the lower quarter of salaries, probably where we should be size-wise. Again, some districts have much more acreage than we have. But we were significantly the lowest when I made that call. I think there's two others that are in the $14 range. So so I did do due diligence in finding out where everybody in the area is. And one other thing I would say is, I think you're aware of this, but we did go out for bids, and it's significantly higher if we were to hire a lawn company to try to manage those services.
And this KBW's and our equipment.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And Mr. Waters has worked with him, like, working already.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions? All right, you've all heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Reese.
I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Madam President, I second.
Thank you, Mrs. Evans. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. Can we get a roll call vote?
I should have made that.
I know.
Diane Evans,
Yes.
Vicky Reese,
Abstain.
Ron Hubbard Jr.,
Yes.
Cassie Anthony,
Yes.
Kip Corn.
Yes. All right, recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those oh God, what is wrong with me tonight? Okay, don't answer that. All right, next item of business, consideration of out-of-state field trip.
It's a long agenda.
It was this last year, once you had it, Mr.
I know.
I was good until then.
Madam President, I make a recommendation to approve this field trip, and I'll again apologize. I think moving parts and pieces in the summer, but again, thank you, Ms. Hicks, to point out that, like, hey, we have to approve out of state, and this is happening on Friday, and so the girls basketball team is going to Kings Island for team building on Friday, and so yeah, I make a recommendation to approve that field trip.
We are.
Have fun.
All right, you've all heard the superintendent's recommendation to approve the out-of-state field trip for the girls basketball team. Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Anthony?
I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Madam President, I seconded.
Thank you. Recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is just to review our school board goals for 26-27 school year. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? So then we're down.
I just was gonna say, I thought that giving the teachers treats was a good way to get out and about and
That's a lot, it seems a lot easier to do that than it does to try to find a date to do something else.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to
We
be a little
tried.
less intrusive.
We've tried a lot of different things.
Yeah.
We used to have on like open house, we would have a room set up and we would be in there. People wanted to come, nobody wanted to come.
Recess relief is work.
Recess was,
This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
We did that one, and that is, it's hard to get us nailed down for another date for that. We've had special meetings and nobody comes, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You take suggestions, I guess. Okay, so now we're down to for the good of the cause.
Graduation was really nice. Really nice.
I agree.
The stage was beautiful.
Really
Like that gap, I noticed they put the seats farther back from the graduates. Seemed like they moved the family back a little farther than normal. It looked good.
So that Mr. Waters helps put that together. We actually take pictures so we remember how it looks from year to year.
It's a little bit different. The music was a little different this year.
A little different, yeah. We're trying to carve out to see if we can fit the band in there next year. Where it looked pretty full from where we're at, but
We had them one year. We had
Yeah.
them a couple of years in the corner back when
Yeah.
you first come into the right.
we're looking maybe in the stands where the
Oh.
platform is.
Where the pet names.
Yes, so
Yeah.
we'll we meet event review after we have an event. Well, where we need to improve, so that's one we're trying to look at, just capacity wise. As the groups get bigger, you have more family on the floor, which is outstanding. Just looking at that space, but credit to Mr. Waters and Mr. Chris was the senior sponsor. There's a lot to that. Trying to build some consistency with it each year to year, because that is a big event. There's a lot that goes into putting that together, make sure it's first class for the families and the graduates.
Yeah, it's a big deal for the families.
It is.
So we appreciate that. That was
And the
very nice.
kids.
Yeah. I don't think the kids appreciate it as much as the parents do.
Probably not, except for at the end when you said you can move your tassel.
Yeah. Your castle. But not till the end. Yeah.
Nice speech.
Yeah.
Appreciated it.
Very good.
Thank you. Very motivating.
I think that's the shortest graduation we've ever been to.
No, I think last year was short and sweet to the point.
35 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't you say 45 minutes is what it took?
Ours was about 47, I think.
Not that you were counting.
I wasn't counting.
Somebody else had that clock on, yeah. Yeah, last year was a record short one, so.
Chartwell's wants to do.
Sure. We're just, if you have any questions, we're happy. We'll stay around and talk. But we're very excited for this partnership with you guys. Like Mr. Callahan said, we are in the area, so we know this area very well. And it's really about your people, your kids, taking care of both of them and doing the best we can for them. So we're excited. Nick will meet with the employees here in a couple days or on Wednesday and really just kind of, listen to them and understand what they're going through. Because that's the biggest thing right now is the staff's going to have a lot of concerns. They're going to hear words like, you have to apply, right? And you have a job, right? We just have to get them in our system. So we look forward to that on Wednesday and then really hitting the ground running and meeting with building principals and other administration just to let them know what's to come and how it'll go. And just really looking forward to it. It's a great partnership and we're happy to be here. So thank you very much for letting us.
It's where the food is really good.
Yeah, yes, you gotta come and visit. Give us a month, right, to work out the little kinks. But
Sorry you said that.
yeah, come, September, you come on and eat with us for sure.
Disabled a few things that cost we just had a station set up there.
Yeah.
I know Vicki and I circled around. I was gonna say Vicki and I circled around this time, and then the last time we circled around the other way, and we snagged something else later. So.
Kind of get Costco the free giveaways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
I just want to say again, thank you to Chartwell's, thank you, Mr. Waters, thank you, Mr. Gondel, Mr. Reese. We've been talking a lot about doing things like the Super Bowl, like Super Bowl moments, and I think about graduation. But it takes people to do that, and hiring the right people, and getting the right people in the right places to do that, and adopt. Yes, and I think so. I just want to elevate again this big reason why Mr. Waters, first person I talked to, and it's not just. It's a lot of people are like, that's where we wanted to go. Listening to people. And so Chartwell's same thing. You guys do things like Super Bowl. So
Anything special for Veterans Day?
As far as,
They always do.
we'll have our annual assembly and program.
and also thank you, Sart, for being here. It's summer, and so appreciate your engagement as well. We are continuing on with our strategic planning committee that is parents and staff and community members. And so we're taking a brief break in June and then jumping back into it in July. But thank you for your engagement. So I appreciate that. And I guess the last thing, we got 100% IRE. That's fantastic. We have 16% of our graduating class earning an Indiana College Core. I think that's pretty impressive. For any school.
Think how much money that just saved parents.
Yeah. It's huge.
That's a full year of college tuition.
And we'll do a better job on the website and communication. I know it's the website is like slowly dying a slow death. It needs to die. Oh, I know, and I go to it for things and I'm like, oh, so it's around the corner to rebuild a website, right, Dr. Stashevsky, and so that just being able to communicate those things routinely so the parents are aware, right? Education's changing, diploma requirements are changing, accountability is changing. There was a time where kids just walked across the stage and got a diploma, and now you can walk across the stage with a 30 credit hour certificate from Ivy Tech. Like I said, at graduation, those kids actually graduated from Ivy Tech before they graduated high school. So some parents are unaware and what that means. So,
And I think your point too, Mr. Callahan, and we'll start pushing everything primarily through Parent Square in July. We were trying to front load those important dates for semester one, and certainly in July. A couple pieces we've added to our back to school night. We coordinated the back to school nights with the elementary, talking to Mr. Reese at the elementary. We're going to go 4 to 6, and he's going to go 5:30 to 7. So yeah, students at both buildings, you can easily get to both. But we'll also have an annual athletic meeting for student athletes and their parents, but we'll also have a FAFSA piece, a condensed 30-minute piece for our sophomore, juniors, and senior parents. A lot of that needs to be a couple years out, and there's some strategic things that we've found out through the years working with the Career Center and here with that FAFSA piece is in the university that families can do to help, to your point, save money, and how they can fill those out in advance and how far in advance they need to have those filled out to maximize and look at that savings. So we'll be doing a session, specific session to that at a time slot during that evening as well.
I forgot how painful that was.
It is, and to have someone to tell you the steps, we've got to boil down to, you need to apply first. Once you're accepted, then you go here, and this is how you'll attack the financial aid piece. So we've got to boil down into some steps that take a little bit of the anxiety and mystery away from it for parents and students alike. So we're excited to share that.
One of the things I did miss. I have to do that anymore.
And that's so many years, more so than me, but.
And then they tell you could afford, $200,000 or something for your kids.
I needed to figure out my finances.
Joke on that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, is there anything else?
All right, we're adjourned.
it's quicker than graduation.